Okay, here's the rabbit coop. Just outlets in the ceiling. Let's get the timer for the heat cord that goes through the pipe. There's the 5-gallon reservoir. All that is on the bottom is a bulkhead fitting I got for about $6. It's got one end threaded on a 90-degree elbow. The other end has burrs. Kind of like that. Let's get the burrs on it. I use the torch here to heat up the pipe, and I made feeding the pipe onto the burrs a lot easier, or the fittings. You see the little nipple on the back there. It gets pretty good flow. Like this morning it was 90, yeah, it was 5 degrees this morning. Oops, I'm stuck. And it still didn't freeze. Even with the timer on 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. The end there, I wasn't sure about putting it down there so the ducks have a secondary or tertiary water supply in case that 5-gallon bucket freezes over. But right now I can just, you can see the end of the heat cord coming out, and of course I cut it because it was way too long. I bought 75 feet. I didn't need anywhere near that, but I figured I got the extra. I could always use it later. And there's the, it's 1-inch polypropylene or whatever they call it, pipe. All I did was drill like a hole in there, and because I didn't have a drill bit, I used scissors to ream it out, and then I just screwed it. I started the threads by hand, and I took an extension socket, which is what, 15 millimeter, and I screwed it in until the rubber gasket on the end was squished. And that worked out pretty good. I didn't bother with Teflon tape because it wasn't leaking. The only place I put Teflon tape is there where I threaded it into the bulkhead fitting. But so far it's been doing good. The only real issue is with like back there where she got hay on the ground and the water gets on the hay. And it freezes, of course. But I can just take the torch and I can melt that if it gets too bad. It's in the middle of the cage, so they're not peeing on it. So it's somewhat clean, so they can gnaw on it or whatever if they want. So far it's been working pretty good. Like I said, 5 degrees this morning. That's the lowest it's been so far, and it's what, November 30th? And it hasn't frozen yet. Now the cord only, the box says it pulls 2 amps. I know I gotta finish the plastic. I ran out of plastic. I got most of it done, but so, only pulls 2 amps. And I used, there's a lead cord running to the house about 100 feet into a 15 amp GFI. I have noticed, like, I will drop that down. That's why I have, if I do drop that down for the duck water or chicken water, I do drop that down. What happened, my water has a lot of sediment in it, and I think it's a good idea to flush any of the water out at the end of the week, so that so the sediment doesn't clog up the nipples. I did have a problem with his nipple was dripping, but all I did was these are the nipples I have. Now, if they're dripping, sometimes, like I said, my water has sediment. It's sand, then sometimes there's sediment in the water. So, if it's dripping, all I'll do is I'll unscrew this. Water will run out of, obviously, but we'll run out of that hole there, and that'll obviously flush it out. And then I take another fresh nipple, and grab it out of the bag. I'll unscrew that and I'll replace it. I'll swap out the guts, and then I can take this apart and clean it out. But I've had one nipple leak, and when I pulled it apart, there was sediment in there. Inside there was some sand, like a couple grains of sand, and yeah, that'll clog it. Well, not clog it, but keep just that ball bearing and that. But the sand will keep the nipple from seating, and it'll drip. This little gasket here is what you squish down. You put it in the pipe. It's really simple. I got the bag of nipples. I got 20 for 20 bucks for shipping. Got it from CC only. I love them. I use it for the chickens. I bought it from the chickens. I bought a 5-pack to try them out. Of course they're not gonna drink. I bought a 5-pack to dry them out, and the chickens, they took right to it. Same thing with the ducks, they took right to it. And I get the little tags on the cages, due dates and call dates, and when they were born. Like the pink ones are for the fryers, green ones are for the does, like when they've been bred and stuff, how much feed they're eating. There's the buck. He's a cool little guy. He's a doe. But to drop that down, I just have a nail going through it. Wiggle it out. And if I dropped it low enough, it'll drain the entire reservoir out. That's it. I got a spigot that'll go on the end of there. Yeah, that's just up there. You see it's got rings of ice. I just take one or two 1-gallon milk jugs and I fill it up. Like I just put outlets in the ceiling. I use these for the light. Like there, that 300 watt CFL is just so you can see better for the camera. My camera sucks in the dark. Yeah, this crap slide and stuff. Fun stuff.